Welcome back to New York City and the Athletic Club. My name is Dave Vincent for the WPH Race for 8, the men's senior finals 40 plus with Andy Schad and Dan Armijo warming up here on the show court on ESPN. Some early bonus coverage for you on an amazing Sunday morning. My name is Dave Vincent. We have the crew of Linda Manning, Chris Garrad, Kara Mack, Jeff Kastner, and such, all helping out with this live broadcast alongside Dave Fink. Referee sounds like it's Sean Lenning. Dave, you have a little history here that you saw in the makings in Tucson, Arizona when Andy Schad went up against Dan Armijo there.
Yeah, that was certainly a match of the year candidate. That was what we call a dark match. The cameras were not on for that match, but Dan Armijo was reliving that match last night, Dave, in the wee hours of the morning at the banquet, or what I would call the post-banquet, which was for pros only, reminiscing about
Dan
all of our
Armijo
matches.
Serving. Andy Schad returning. One
Just
game to 25.
Armijo won that match 25-23.
25, win by 2.
These guys have been facing one another for about 20 years, Dave, since the mid-90s.
And then I'll look for him as well. But there's no appealing. Well, there's... Excuse me. Yeah, you can do that.
This is one of those interesting matchups, Dave, that actually goes back and forth. It's very difficult to find an opponent where you actually trade wins and losses. A lot of times it's you win every time or almost every time or lose almost every time. These guys are very even.
Well, I don't think this score is going to be even today. I think Andy Schad's going to probably win about 25-11.
I actually agree with you. Danny just has not looked sharp at all
0-0
in this event. Andy Schad, Dave, an impressive first round win. That was a great re-kill over Dennis Gingras.
0-0.
A lot of us expected that to be a close match, and it wasn't.
Yeah, I really thought it would be.
That's a perfect shot from Dan, who doesn't get nearly enough credit for his smart handball play.
1-0.
He really understands the game, the strategy and the technique.
He might be one of those guys that has played in the most handball tournaments, pro tournaments of all time. There's a nice little underhand paddle shot from Schad, who's wearing the gray shirt,
0-1.
living in the Washington, D.C. area.
I heard Andy speaking at least 4 different languages this weekend, all fluently. Now, I'm sure that there's more. I just heard 4.
Little screen. Dan is pretty dangerous back there in that revolving door area. Not in this tournament, but, you know, years past.
That was a terrible mishit.
Yep, not in a bad spot, though.
I would say Danny's one of the streakiest backwall players I've ever seen. He can flat roll the ball with both hands on some days, and other days just isn't there.
Side out.
There's a little crack over there on the right wall.
0-1.
You're watching the WPH Race for 8 by Edel Handball here in New York at the AC.
Short.
Andrew Schad,
Second serve.
mid-40s. Dan Armijo, 52 now. Nice shot between the legs. Armijo goes
Point.
to the right side, but Andy Schad takes care of it there.
think if these
1-1.
first few rallies are any indication, Dave, we're going to be here for a long time.
Short. Second serve.
Yeah, you think these would kind of squeak by fairly quick, but they don't. And that's why, if you like watching handball, there is drama, that there's momentum changes, there's everything that you'd want in a regular 3-game set, best 2 out of 3 type series, can happen in a 1 game to 25. Unless it's a blowout. Huge foot fault there, my gosh.
Side out.
Another side out. Schad finally takes the lead, goes up 2-1. Then there's a side out.
1-2. Side out. 2-1.
Somehow dug out there from Schad. His whole family back home watching this broadcast on ESPN. He said it's really cool that all of your friends that don't play
1-2.
handball, that have always heard about it, are back home watching you. He said, we've always dreamed about being on TV and ESPN, and now it's happening. It's a good rally here, Dave.
Side out.
We're averaging 13 shots a rally thus far.
2-1.
7 minutes into this match. By comparison, Dave, yesterday in the Race for 8 Tour, 6.2 shots per rally.
I found it interesting yesterday. Marco Chavez, sitting to the left of us, had a stopwatch, and he was stopwatching a couple things. One, how long did it take from the time the serve started to the time that the ball was dead, or the point or the side out.
Side out.
And when 2 shooters were in there, like Andy Nett, Sean Lenny, it was averaging 8 seconds or less. That's how long the rallies were. But when Emmett went in, it was around 18 to 20 seconds. But
Side out.
You mean between points?
yeah, well, he did that as
3-1.
well, and that also increased it. Very different, the styles of play between the players. These guys are getting 12 to 20 seconds in every single rally. Look at that shot.
That's why they call him Andy Backwall.
Dave, you played Andy Backwall for some time in the 90s when
4-1.
you were going to University of Arizona. I know that he was one of the guys that you played regularly. One of the only people in Tucson that would talk to you back then. And
Second serve.
Or now.
he gave you a workout back in those days?
Yeah, we had very
Point.
good matches.
Five one.
Andy would have been about his prime back then.
Dan Armijo will be frustrated there. That was one of the few times that Backwall Andy made a poor shot selection, tried to pinch the left corner with Danny right in the
6-1.
front court. The ball set up for the hand, but the hand misses his favorite shot in the right corner.
Nice power right there.
Okay. Contact. Do over. 6-1.
Watching ESPN. men's 40s final between Andy Schad and Dan Armijo.
That was an amazing rally there. Andy wins that with a deep 2-wall pass. It just gets behind Danny.
Side out. 1-7. Short. Second serve. Point.
And the biggest reason, Dave, for these long rallies, neither of these guys have an overwhelming serve, so the serve
Andy,
doesn't give them a big first strike opportunity, so the rally just starts, and you really have to work your way into that setup. You see a guy like Paul Brady or Sean Lenning, the serve is so good that a lot of times it's unreturned or an easy opportunity for a kill shot on the return.
Right.
And when you don't have that, you're battling. That shot right there, Dave, was the shot that Dan Armijo made at 23-all last time these two played. Andy serving at 23-all. Armijo completely exhausted. Hit that shot right at Armijo. Armijo turned his back and hit a punch fist behind the back, flat kill.
That just got him the 24th point, but
well, no, that was a side out for 23-all.
And then what happened for those last 2 points? What?
Danny scored the 24th point, got taken out. Andy came in and served a crack serve.
Hold it.
That looked like it was just about rolled out. Hand dove, flipped it.
I thought it was a pretty good screen.
The ball looped in and rolled out flat right in front of Schad. And I mean flat.
It was a setup.
Didn't bounce.
That didn't bother you? You're taking it. I'm going to call it.
Watch this. He's going to reverse his call, and I wouldn't blame
Andy,
Sean.
Andy, I didn't love my call to begin with. I'm just going to give it to him. Side out.
Well,
I didn't love
it was
my
a
call,
kill. It's not a bad call.
It was a fat setup. I'm going to exercise that right. Side out.
It's not wrong for Sean to do this because what Dan did do was hit a rollout.
I don't know. It was pretty fat. I hate it when people do that to me.
I agree with Sean here, Dave. Look, here's the play.
I agree with Sean. You can change your call.
He changed it, and
1-7.
yeah, I mean, Andy wasn't going to get it. But then I understand what Andy said. Like he wouldn't have lobbied for it if he would have missed it.
Side out.
And that's true. Therefore, Sean would have stuck with the call.
7-1.
And I ref, which is rarely. I don't like to call hinders at all.
I don't call them.
I just don't think the players really want to.
I don't believe in hinders, screens, or timeouts.
A little contact there. Nobody saying anything.
Point.
This game is physical in that sense. There can be hinders and screens and contact.
8-1.
It's subtle, but it does happen.
Point.
Make that 9-1 now. Andy Schad, who normally travels with a family member, minimum family member, and then
short,
a wife, maybe the whole family. But this is the first time, Dave, I think you and I could recall Andy is all by himself. He's not with one of his daughters. you know, sometimes he trades off.
Well, he said the great thing about ESPN is that they
Point.
feel like they can still be with him by following all of his matches.
Said his oldest daughter has a swim meet, and they'll be watching in the
10-1.
car as they commute. I said, tell your wife, put both hands on the steering wheel, Andy. I like that shot right there. Andy
Point.
looks really strong right here.
Yeah, this is not unexpected
But
based
this,
on their
11-1.
form from yesterday.
yeah, no, Andy looked really good yesterday, but he didn't look good the last time we saw him in Tucson. Here he does look like he wants to win this.
It's a great get. Andy took fourth in Houston. I don't think so.
He's not going to get
2
it.
over.
Oh, so rough. I thought that Andy made a great
11-1.
shot there, Dave. Armijo wanted the screen and he got it, and I'm not sure it really was a screen.
$12-1.
Back in the day when Andy was really good off the back wall with his right on shots like that there,
Side out.
was he also very good with the ball off the back with his left?
No, he played more defense with his left.
112.
Very aggressive with his right. Very good with it.
That ball really hopped there. Like being around Andy because he'll pay you a compliment whether he means it or not. I'm assuming he means it. But, you know, he'll come up to
Side
you
out.
and talk to you about past conversations. Like he almost goes back to his computer and logs all of the notes of the conversation so he can recall it later.
12-1.
Ask you how your arm's feeling, how the kids are, all that stuff. I have family members that won't even ask you those questions.
Yeah, that's called being personable, Dave.
Yeah, I like that.
13-1.
I recognize it when I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know how to do it myself, but I.
Hold it. Foot fault.
The first step is to close your computer.
Second serve.
it's-
Turn off your phone.
It's closed.
It's the first step in achieving that.
Side out.
Dan Armijo finds himself way behind here in the first
Yeah,
half.
I was assuming
113.
Armijo would score about 11 in this match here, just based off of what we saw from Andy, who looks like he's really improved his conditioning.
You know, I saw the hand last night, and he was really focused on this match. Hydrating. Very serious about this. And just because you do all the right things doesn't mean you're going to come out
Point.
and play anywhere near your best.
Well, I was impressed the other day when Armijo showed up at the
2:13.
facility about an hour and a half early and took a shower, and it was their first round matches were at 8 in the morning.
Side out.
That was an inside-out guided kill shot from Andy Nat. Excuse me,
13-2.
Andy Schad. Now that I said net, it's going to be like that all morning long.
This is the first time that we've had two Andys playing on Sunday.
In the finals.
Yeah.
Nice
Side
shot.
out.
But Armijo here an hour and a half early. Taking a shower, getting ready for his
2:13.
match. This guy's taking it serious. And I think, you know, when you are the #1 seed, it just puts a little extra pressure on you.
Side out.
Some power from Andy Schad, who goes right at Armijo, but just blasts it past him.
1 minute, no more.
Always surprised when these guys take that timeout right before halftime. As we take a timeout, look outside from the solarium here at Central Park. Yeah, a little bit of snow and ice out here. Yesterday it rained. A little bit more of that snow melt, ice melt there in Central Park.
The temperatures were in the teens and lower since the new year up until this week, so it could take a while for that snow and ice to dissipate.
I had dinner over here near that Jazz sign that you see straight center on the 4th floor. Nice little lounge up there. It was called Porterhouse, which I thought was a great name for a steak place. Guess you didn't get the invite on that.
I've stopped even thinking that I would ever get one. And extending them, actually.
13-2.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah. I like that timeout there, Dave, from Armijo, because he needs to close the gap before halftime. And if he thinks this is what's going to help him
2-13.
get to maybe 8 or even 10, this is what he needs to do. I think he's got to set a goal for himself to get to at least 8. You go to halftime down 15-2, it's pretty much insurmountable.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a real steep mountain after 15 to climb. It's tough for these guys to climb it when they get to about 20. So imagine having 2.
14-2.
This is the men's 40 plus senior finals.
We've had some incredible
Side out.
senior matches in this event, several of them going to overtime.
2-14.
Nice rally there. Schad is just throwing out some power when he needs it, playing at a certain tempo and then lifting his power by about 5%, 10% when he needs to, and it's just enough to blow it past Dan Armijo. And I look at Schad. No, he's okay.
I'm not calling a hinder. You ran into him after that shot. After your shot, he was on the other side of the ball. He was on the other side of the ball. I disagree.
I think Sean saw
after you hit it,
Schad on the ground and just assumed the point was going to be over, but I think Schad hit this too far down the middle.
I disagree. He was on the other side of the ball.
Yeah, I could see that.
Huh? Well, yeah.
I think what Armijo's saying is I could have gone harder or further to get the ball if I knew he wasn't there, because
Danny.
I'm kind of.
You don't mean that. Yes.
In other words, you're right that it's not a screen or a hinder. It's I'm not going to go all out because I'm going to run into this guy.
I think he did go all out, though.
nonetheless, we are
I'm excited for that.
we're at halftime. It's a 3-minute break, and we're going to go to Kara, who is courtside right now. Kara, what's going on?
I'm courtside here with Carl Obert, Hall of Famer. Incredible to be talking to you. I want you to talk a little bit right now about the program that you have going on in New York for youth and the growth of handball.
Well, it's a Saturday morning program. It goes for 6 months. We get 150, 200 children. They have to play all sports. They play racquetball, running, track, swimming, and I teach handball. So all of a sudden, one coach didn't show up, and all of a sudden I got 75 kids. So I came up with a plan, like I usually do. I ran them. So first I threw 70 balls on the court. Do whatever you want. Throw them up, hit the target up there, the windows. Then I ran them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 against till I tired them out.
That's what you do to kids.
And then I taught them. And the way I teach is I take 6, 7 balls. Here, hit it. Stop moving your head. Hit it. You moved your left leg. Hit it. And then they learn rapidly. See, if you take one ball, they hit it. The time to get the ball, they forgot what they did. So I make them in repetition. Most people don't know it takes 21 days to change a reflex. See, I figured it out. And so even if the coach is saying, don't do that, you're going to still do it because you're in the reflex mode. So once they understand it, they go ahead. The next project that I came up with was a lot of young guys play and they win junior titles. And then when they move up, they get discouraged because they're not winning. So I wrote an essay on that. When you're junior champ, you win 8 out of 8. When you go to high school, you win 7 out of 8. When you go to college, you win 5 out of 8. When you go to the pros, if you win 1 out of 8, you're going to say thank you. This way they don't get discouraged. Years ago, there was a young guy, Lance Zepp, and he was winning all the fall, and then he faded away. Because when he went to the pros, he started losing. So that's the reason I wrote this. So they stay in the game.
You're talking about what you wrote. You have a book coming out. It's called First Place or No Place.
Second is the other guy.
Love it. Tell me a little bit about this book, what you have going on.
Well, we played 147 different courts. And what I did was, if we played Detroit and the guy didn't win, I'd go over to him and said, hit the ball for 2 minutes and I'll improve your game. And then tell me what business you're in. I was a business major. So now I have 1,000 businesses in my head. You don't believe it, I'm telling you it's the truth. And everywhere I went. And when I started work, I was an office boy. And I told the guy, I'll take the job as an office boy if I get the next opening. It was New York Butchers, a division of Armory Company. So then I learned chicken, eggs, poultry, beef. And then the salesman retired. He had 250 accounts. So I said, well, how am I going to meet these people? So I got a joke, a good joke, and I would tell them a joke, and they'd laugh. And I saw all 250. Next week I came, I thought about it, and I said, how can I make this better? I got another joke, and I went to them, I'm telling you one more joke, but never again unless you have a joke for me. And inside of a month, I had 10,000 jokes. And you can ask the people.
I want one, and give me one of those jokes.
No, but again, they just put one out on golf. She's a golfer, he's a golfer. And he said, your game is lousy. The reason we didn't win as a team, and she took the club and swung, and she killed him. The cops came and said, what happened? What happened? Well, he was arguing with me about me not making it. As a team, we didn't make first place as a couple. So I swung, and I hit him. He says, how many times did you swing? I think it was a par 5.
Thank you so much. I'm going to talk a little bit more to you because you have so much to talk about and share. We're going to continue on with this match, though, for now. Thank you, Carl.
No problem.
Thank you. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Kara. That was a wonderful story there with Mr. Obert.
Everything he did was precise, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
it's like he did a study, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
And he's written that book.
16-2.
It's coming out.
Short.
And it seems like he's taken notes and he's found the formula. He's letting
Second
us
serve.
catch a little piece of it there.
Well, he's one of these gentlemen, Dave, even in his 80s, that if he's going to do something, he's going to do it right.
Right.
He's going to give 100% effort.
I think he did that in his career too,
Yeah,
because
92 national titles combined with the 3 Obert brothers. I was calculating that, Dave, last night at a
17-2.
late night handball powwow. That would mean that those were all open titles, Dave.
Right.
These aren't, junior titles. That would mean that there's 12 national titles available per
Bad
year
bounce.
amongst those 3 brothers. They would have to win 6 a year over 15 years to accumulate 92 or
17-2.
something, some combination of that. So we're talking about 1-wall singles and doubles, 4-wall singles and doubles, and 3-wall singles and doubles. Mr. Obert said that he'd never played 3-wall before, and he went to play Vic Herskowitz. And Vic Herskowitz just killed him because he had no overhand game on the 46-foot courts, and he went and practiced there every day for 6 months and went back and challenged Vic Herskowitz. And when he came back, he beat him 21-3, and Vic Herskowitz would never play him again.
yeah, I heard that story. So look at these amazing fish shots from Andy. So
Point.
Carl Obert was Timothy Gonzalez then. Now, if you can't
It was
master
great
it,
seeing Timothy here this
18-2.
weekend.
Short.
what I can tell you about Carl is every time you see him, he knows
Second serve.
who you are, what you're doing, everything about you, even though you haven't had a conversation since the previous year. And Armijo looks
Point.
all out of sorts, but I think it's Schad just playing so good right now. Carl asked me when I saw him yesterday if Lolita was coming to the tournament.
19-2.
I thought,
Well, he's actually the greatest.
I mean, he
It's
just knows
obvious.
everybody. He knows everything. What a great guy to have as a mentor for,
Wow,
look at that shot.
that was great. Oh, and spinning Armijo
Point.
all around, Dave. 360s. Andy's playing with a plan. He's executing it. Really playing some crisp handball here.
20 serves 2.
Armijo also offering a little bit of comedic entertainment
Hold
here.
it,
Sean
football.
Lenning laughing as our referee at the antics of the hand.
Well, Dave, this shows you just
Second
how
serve.
unpredictable sports are. The last time they played, it was Armijo winning. Now he's, just getting demolished here. I mean,
Just a couple months ago.
yeah.
I mean, this is almost the second worst thrashing we've seen of Armijo on a broadcast.
Dave, I'm a firm
Point.
believer that even if you play somebody that's a little bit better than you, if you can get yourself into the match,
21-2.
it's a match. But once you get down and they've got that confidence and you lose yours, it's over. Armijo's never been able to get that spark here in this match to where he's really been able to.
Look at that get. Armijo underplays it.
Gosh. I thought he was going to flip that in the back wall. Instead, he throws it over his right shoulder for a winner.
That was-
I guess you would call that a lob winner.
That was unbelievable. Look at Schad.
Yeah, this is incredible.
How does he get that ball back? You're right. He should have flipped it to the back wall. And not sure why Danny didn't fly that.
22 serves 2. First timeout. It's just the 40, yeah.
Yeah, this is the 40 seniors final, and we have another great one coming up right around the corner. It's either going to be the women's 5th or the women's 3rd place match. Let's go to Kara Mack, who's courtside right now. Kara?
We're still chatting away with Carl Obert, and so we thought we'd come back to him. You've been talking a lot about strategy and for kids and teaching them that winning, getting better is the most important thing. Talk a little bit about that and what you tell them.
Well, a lot of kids get discouraged because they lost. So I came up with a saying, losing is good for you. And they look at me, what? I don't want to lose. No, you see, if you study why you lost, then you know what to practice. And that's the trick. Playing games is not practicing. Like I told you, I had 2 hours, 1 hour to someone shot. The next time I had an hour, 1 hour on another shot. And they're playing games. See, you don't learn playing a game. You play the same people. When we traveled, we were in Chicago. If you didn't study them out right away, you're flying home on the plane. So I came up with a strategy. While they warm up, I said, can I warm up with you?
22 serves 2.
I did one low, one medium, one here, one here. In 2 minutes, I knew what they could do.
Thank you so much. I also wanted to touch base really quick too. You've been talking about so much what handball has meant to you and where it's taking you and who you've met. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, if you look, we have letters from President Ronald Reagan, Governor Andrew Cuomo, Koch, Giuliani, all the top people. We met Bob Hope, Johnny Weissmuller,
23-2.
hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of celebrities. And they come over and we try to make it better for them. And we always tell them, and especially young guys, first make a career. And the icing on the cake is handball, where I've seen people winning money, and then they stop and they have no career. And I've taught them, start with a career, and then start playing ball. And why ruin your life? At 39, where are you going to find work if you never did it?
I'm going to interrupt you here
Go
because
ahead.
the match just ended, and we are going to grab and toss this over to Dave Fink, who's going to hand out this reward right here. Thank you so much, Carl.
Well, there it is. Andy Schad taking down Dan Armijo 25-2 here, and the award presentation going on the center court with Dave Fink right now as he gets situated to give the trophies to Armijo and Schad and get those actualities when we get our cameraman on the court. Great conversation with Carl Obert, and I wish we could just do a whole segment on him, but in the meantime, let's go to Dave Fink. Dave.
Guys, congratulations. Andy, incredible performance today. Let's start here with Dan. Dan, I know it didn't go your way this morning, but you had a great event. You're the top seed for the first time in your 32-year pro career. You have to be proud about that. You validated that by making the finals here today. Andy just too tough today. I know that you beat him last time you played, but he just seemed to have all the answers for you today.
It was like a lot of seeing-eye dog singles out there. Everything he hit seemed to have eyes for the front wall. It was, I wouldn't call it luck, but I had 22 bad rallies there. I made 3 good ones. But next time, I'm going to start off where I left here.
Well, Danny, we love having you at the events, and we'll look forward to seeing you next month in Salt Lake City.
Thank you. Right on. Thank you very much.
Andy, amazing performance today. You made it through yesterday, the first round against Dennis. You played exceptionally well. You survived against Chris Watkins. Today you just brought out your best handball. Your first senior race for 8 wins since winning that Players' Championship in 2013. You have to feel great.
I do. I feel like I played really well today. You know, I was fortunate that Danny missed a lot of shots he normally hits. Normally he's very tough off the back wall. He skipped some today, so that played to my benefit. But I just felt really strong. I trained really hard for this, and I'm just happy that I was able to get through Watkins yesterday and Dennis. They both played really well, and then Danny had a tough time today. But I feel really good about how I played.
Well, you didn't really give him too many back wall opportunities, but I think was probably the best I've seen you play in two years at least. So you have to feel exceptionally good about that, and I know we're going to see you in Salt Lake City as well as you'll go for that senior race for 8 #1 ranking, which is well within your grasp. Let me award you this beautiful crystal.
All right. Well, thanks, Dave. I appreciate that very much. I look forward to seeing you guys in Salt Lake City, and thanks for hosting the tournament. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Andy. Dave, back to you.
Yeah, that was a nice showing from everybody there, Dave. That was amazing. Andy Schad really did look good for the first time in a couple years. I mean, he's been steady for 2 years, but this is the first time he really seen Andy look like he rededicated himself, got into shape. He had a mission, and he did it. Taking down Dan Armijo here in the finals, the score 25-2. Next, women's third place between Aoife McCarthy and Martina McMahon, both from Ireland, is going to be on the show court right around the corner. We want you to stick close. For Chris Garrad, Linda Manning, Jeff Kastner, Kara Mack, Dave Fink, Dave Vincent, thanks for tuning in. We'll have more action here on ESPN and the Watch ESPN app. Stick with us.